Welcome again to Mystic Revolution. We are here in season 4, and the season is about strengthening our soul senses. We've got some good stuff for you today, but before we dive in, let's do a little meditation. Just take a minute and close your eyes. And let's take a nice deep breath in and out. And just let yourself settle into yourself. And feel the weight of your body in your chair, or if you're lying down, wherever you are, just be aware of your body. Notice your skin. Notice the skin you're in. And allow your beautiful body to feel a connection with the earth. The beautiful, vibrant, organic energy of the earth. It's stabilizing, it's growth oriented. You are of the earth. Allow yourself to connect deeply to it. And if you like, you can intentionally put down cords or roots from your feet, or even from your root chakra at the base of your spine. And see if you can bring in earth energy into your body. What we practice here is grounded mysticism, practical mysticism, allowing our soul senses and mystic sensibilities to be of use here in this earth realm. And just let your cells, every cell of your body, just drink that delicious earth energy in. And allow yourself to bring it up into your torso, bring it up into your heart space. And then allow yourself to be aware of a beautiful bright light above your head, like your own soul sun, your own soul star, your own connection to the divine. And just as you might outside feel the sun shining down on you, allow this energy just to shine down on you. Just letting a beautiful shower shimmer of light wash over you. And then see if you can allow it to come into you, almost as if there's a pillar of energy or a pouring of this energy in through the top of your head. And just let it come into your body. See if you can tune into a connection in your heart. And know that you are held by both earth and sky. Let's go ahead and just take another nice deep breath in and out. And you're more than welcome to play with these energies or be in this space as we continue talking. Feel free to keep your eyes closed, or feel free to open them and join the conversation. You know, we always love comments and questions as we do these things, so feel free to comment below. Love to hear from you. All right, Wendy, well, we're talking more about dancing as a reader and a readee. So I'm going to let you just take the floor.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way to start this conversation about strengthening our soul senses as a reader and also as a readee.
Yeah.
Not just going in and receiving something that is given to us, but we play with it. I think that's so important. And so we're going to continue this third time with this focus on what reading is like and some distinctions that are useful for us.
Yeah.
In that journey. And this time I'm kind of thinking kind of as a final batting order, we'll be talking about us as embodied spirit. So we'll be talking about the spiritual and magical, mystical side of the reading, and also the practical, tactical psychic
Yes.
reading. And these are both very useful. It's very important to tune into our spiritual information and to get validated for who we are, or our sacred path or whatever. And it's
Yes.
also very useful to get like everyday information. Just this week, I was talking to some friends because I was in a kind of uncomfortable, feeling a little dangerous situation, and I went out to a few friends. This is what I see. What do you see? Okay, that's helpful. Thanks. Next. Right. Like
Yeah.
it's just really helpful to get that feedback. So anyway,
Yeah.
you have anything to say about all that before we
Oh,
start,
well,
Susanna?
just I mean, validating, and also can sometimes just give us a slightly different perspective or even a nuance that we might be not be fully aware of. And so I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where the ability to do reading and receive reading is important for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because in this scenario, like part of me was like, oh, you should just, you have psychic friends, ask them. And then I'm like, well, I could ask myself. you know it's just like, okay, I'll ask myself and I'll get that information, and then I'll get verification. Like it's just very helpful. And everything I got was really validating on top of extra. It was like sprinkles on top
Yeah.
of the ice cream.
And just in terms of like how you ask for this, I mean, I appreciate being able to, and witnessing when you've asked and other people have asked, like the ability to just ask the question point blank without any other information. And that's where you can really feel validated and really know that, there is something to what other people are sharing, because they aren't picking up on what you've said and sort of extrapolating off of that, right?
Yeah. And getting carried away with all the drama of it. So I think there's some kind of balance here with that. I think that I've found many people asking me, but also my asking them to ask more general and then to go down in,
Yeah,
because the more specific questions we ask, the more specific answers we can get.
absolutely.
So yeah, and then some people are so like, what's the word? They're skeptical, right? There's the skeptical ones, and they just are like asking questions, trying to give no information, and that's great, right? And then it's just, but I can only give so much until I have more specific questions. So I can give that much and they can do more or whatever. But it's just so funny, the real skeptical people I've seen come through only once. They don't come, they don't usually come back. They're like trying not to show that like what the answer means anything or not or whatever. And then sometimes some of them are like, wow, like at the end, they're just like,
Yeah,
wow, that was, I can't believe you saw that, da, 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 da. So it's just so funny, because I'm not even usually looking at people when I read, I'm
yeah,
looking up here
yeah,
all the
absolutely.
time. So whatever, but yeah,
No, I totally hear you. And I think, and skeptics are great. I mean, be skeptical.
yeah,
Be skeptical. Come in and go get readings, maybe practice if you are have a little bit of interest, and just see what happens. But yeah, I can always tell when someone's a skeptic because there's a different energy and there's a definite sort of like I'm just
yeah,
gonna say a wall or a block there. And a little
yeah,
bit of like, prove to me, show me, which
right.
is completely fine. But I'm just,
It's
yeah,
fine. It's
it's
just
there.
funny, and it's serious energy though. It's serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
serious. That's true. Yeah,
It's not playful.
it's not
So it
playful.
it can put a damper on the fun of the reading.
Yeah,
Right, like for me, and I've learned, like now after 20 years or something, now I'm just like, I don't effing care.
yeah,
Like I'll just read and do my thing, and the thing is, the more certainty I have, the more playfulness I have, they get enrolled, right? But
yeah,
when I first, I was just like, oh, it made it
yeah,
much harder to read because it was serious and there was a whole lot of walls to deal with. But
yeah, a
now it's
whole
not
lot of
such a big
balls.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I also wanted to go back to what you said about drama. And this gets into something that we've talked a lot about when does reading become not a reading, right? If someone, you said you had something that was pretty intense for you this week, and if you'd gone to someone for a reading who really dialed into that and started projecting perhaps what they would feel if this had happened to them, or
Yes.
spinning stories in the drama realm, or creating more problem energy, which we've talked about, like in the mastering your energy part of our show, that skews the reading completely.
Yeah.
It goes off track. I'm also going to say that I guess what this points to is more about the person who's doing the reading than the actual person who's being read.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're all people.
Yeah.
None of us are clear yet.
No.
We're not fully clear until we're about ready to graduate the planet,
Mhm.
right? We're always all learning and growing and healing, and that's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful part about hanging out with mystics, whether psychic mystics who are always learning how to see and heal and help better or whatever, be with reality, or more like spiritual, going through the soul journey and all this stuff. Well, whatever kind of mystics, it's so fun to be just like, oh, we're all in process.
We're all in process. Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. It's like it kind of reminds me of how kids are like, what? The teachers don't go to the bathroom. It's like the teachers go to the bathroom. Right.
That's
Teachers,
really funny.
your reader is tripping over shit too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that gets back to what you were saying. It's like, so we have stuff, but can I recognize it? Like, I think I said a while ago, in our show somewhere, I'm like, I grew up in a lot of fear. So if I'm reading myself, I know I have to clear it. And also a lot of invalidation. So I know if I'm reading myself, know I have to clear it. If I'm reading you, it's not like that. It's different. But I know what there is to clear so that it's not painting everything in fear.
Yeah. And just to underscore that, just the remembering that every reader is reading through the lens of their own experience. And that's why a really good reader understands this, right? Does the clearing that needs to happen. And even if they are reading things, Wendy's going to talk about matching pictures. Sometimes these come up. You'll have sort of a similar thing with your reader, being able to discern that clearly and to speak to the reader about them, not about you. Keep what's for yourself and focus on the reader. I have witnessed a lot of entanglement with that, and then it gets really messy. But please, Wendy, go ahead and speak more about that.
Yeah, it helps to know ourselves, and that's what one of the practices in training is to clear and to see where we're still not clear. Oh, that's definitely still an issue for me, and there's nothing wrong. But can I watch? And I remember in my more advanced training, sitting around and looking and being like, okay, everybody look at this. Okay. All right, now clean it off. Okay. All right, now we know this energy is probably there. Let's clean it off. Okay, now look behind. What's really going on?
Yeah.
Look behind. And so there's just all these fun tricks that we can do to not take the first information. And what I found for myself, and probably you too, I get a feel for it. I have a knowing. It's just like, oh, I have to look behind this. There's something playing with this energy. There's some kind of shit going down here. So let me clear it. Let me da-da-da. And let me look behind this little game and see what's really going on.
Yeah. And I love the certainty and confidence in which you spoke to that, right? As we're learning, I think the last episode we talked about, don't discount, what you see or sense, right? Because a picture or a symbol or a color or something could very well mean something. So don't discount. And then the next, right? Look behind, look around.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Go a
And
little bit deeper.
yeah, and just don't assume, no assuming.
No assuming. Yeah. And
And it's neat. I put this meme up on one of my pages on Facebook, and people liked it. And then it was about, like, if you if you have a reaction to someone, pay attention.
yeah.
Pay attention, because it means something. But some people are like, oh, but it could be protection. Oh, could it be? I'm just like, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of that stuff going on, but it still means something. It still means something that my space is lit up, or I can't breathe, or whatever it is. I feel like shit all of a sudden. I feel like my mother dresses me funny. Like, why?
Why?
Why is that happening? Yes, it's about me. It's always about me. But what else is going on? That person, with my mother dresses me funny. Mom, if you're listening, it's not your fault. And
I've
but
had a mother that dressed me funny too. So yeah, a lot of people can probably relate to that. Yeah.
but like, it's my own invalidation, but it's bouncing off of theirs. Because I can walk into the same outfit, the same hair, the same body, into a whole different place, and it's party on. It has nothing to do. I'm not all hooked. But then I walk into this other room, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm underdressed, I'm overdressed, or something wrong, and it's like, that's yes, it's me, but it's also what I walked into.
Yeah.
And can I pay attention to that? I think that's a useful distinction.
It's a hugely useful distinction. And then, it means something. So what does it mean? What does it mean within ourselves? We can do that. A reader can sense that and do some, asking of questions, sensing. I mean, and this is where discernment gets in, right? You got to be clear about what the person is able to hear. Like, you're not poking your nose in business where you don't belong.
Right.
And you're not going down paths that are like exacerbating problem energy or drama,
Right.
or your own agendas. And let's just say not every person who comes to you that says they have a major problem with someone is dealing with someone that is like really toxic.
Right.
And I'm bringing that up in particular because I've had this happen, right? I'm dealing with this toxic person. How do I get rid of them?
Yes.
Well, let's take a look. And this is not bypassing anybody's experience, but there's some intense, charged, sometimes ideas that people latch on to because they match maybe some inner pictures or experiences. And it can be very easy for a reader to allow that into the reading space, sometimes even unconsciously. So I'm just bringing that out as, for readers and readees. A responsible reader won't do that.
Right. And it's the same thing happens with counseling. It's like, it always takes two.
Exactly.
What's going on in the dance? If that's the important part. And, for the way I read, and I bet you do too, it's like, well, why am I creating this? Why is this coming up again? Why is this pattern here? Oh, it reminds me of, what I was saying about what that disconcerting thing. It reminded me of something when I was very young that was really unsafe for me. It's a chance yet again for me to heal.
A chance yet again.
And if I make it all about them and the drama and the whatever, I miss the chance again to heal that out.
So I love the premise, which we share in our tradition of, is this a healing? Is this a healing? Is what I'm going to share, what I sense. Is this a healing, or how can it be a healing? Always that. Always that.
Always that. So there's so much more to talk about, and I believe it's time for a break.
Thank you, We Are Historically, for your conscious human apparel. Shop online at wearehistorically.com.
Hey everyone, just a friendly reminder that on the first Tuesday of every month, we hold a Mystic Revolution meditation, and you're invited. Just go to our website and you'll find the link. We look forward to seeing you then.
Raise your vibration and energize your life with specialized Fibonacci tuning forks that deepen meditations and empower self-healing. Get your vibrational sound tools for personal enhancement at energybodytuners.com.
Well, welcome back from the break. And we are talking about the dance between being a reader and a readee, and some, I guess, thoughts and principles that Wendy and I share in this. And really, we were just joking, a conversation amongst old psychics. Like, what do old psychics talk about? Sometimes this stuff. So
Yeah.
we were talking about, how important it is for a reader to, read objectively, read as a witness, like witnessing the energy, witnessing, and reading with the intention of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the best and highest good of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it reminds me, one of my readees early on said that the reading was like looking in a sacred mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's that. So it's that witness, it's that more clear. Can we just show up clear and give a different perspective than the person is usually, because that's the value. It's not like anybody we talk to as a psychic, they all are psychic too.
Yeah.
More or less aware. And, but they they're not standing where I'm standing.
Yeah.
And that's why they come to me, or your people come to you, because we are a certain vibration and we offer a certain perspective.
Yeah.
And in those perspectives have to do with what we talked about before, matching pictures.
Yeah.
The ways in which we are similar, and it can be anything from, well, we both have, we all have belly buttons. We're similar. We all have mothers. We're similar. We all have, we all need to eat and breathe. Like, it can be very general, but it can get extraordinarily specific. And it's so fascinating to see who shows up in our ministry, in our work.
Yeah.
Like how how refined the commonalities can be.
Yes. And
also how people show up that are right on time for a particular learning that I'm doing, a particular healing process that I'm in. It's like, oh my goodness, like this week is the week of this. And it just shows up and it's just like, okay, after the third one, I'm like, all right, I'm paying attention. I'm healing harder on,
Right. I mean, isn't that fascinating how that's happened to me too, where it'll be like the third or fourth person in a week where it's a similar thing. And it's, gotta pay
it's
attention.
like, I really, really got to go to the mat on this one, because the universe is just ringing the bell. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, people talk about everyone being like, everyone in your life is a mirror to yourself. And this is no different. It's just maybe perhaps a little bit more, it's just in a different way, right? It's a different kind of engagement where we get to be mirrors for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really a blessing. And my perspective is that anybody in that, whether we have one or more readees, I mean, or, if a couple comes or a family comes and one or more readers, that usually happens with training, but sometimes otherwise, everybody in the room is blessed. Like, that's kind of the rule. If that's not happening, there's something off, I would say.
Yeah.
There's this overarching holiness or blessing or sacredness that happens, that transforms everyone.
I love that we're talking about this, because I honestly haven't seen too many, I guess, YouTube videos or been in the presence of too many or read any articles about that idea of it being a blessing for everyone, right? It's more like someone comes, they really want information, and the seer can give it to them. And I think that can happen, but there's also so much else going on too.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm really not interested. Like, that's the thing. Like, we'll talk about the practical, technical, but if they just want to learn about, when's my love going to come, or when's my, it's like, that's not a healing. Like, the healing goes so much deeper.
So glad you brought that example up, because that's a very common thing that people go see a reader for, right? Whether it's a psychic reading, tarot reading, I mean, any kind of thing like that is a very common thing that people come for. Like, either when's my love going to come, or is my partner going to return to me, or something like that. And to your point, okay, how can this be a healing?
Oh, yeah.
How can this be a
it's so
healing,
Christy.
right?
It's so
It
good.
is. And that's where the different kind of questions and perspectives come in. It's more about how can this person feel healed and whole, and facilitate the love that they want, the love that's best for them.
Mhm.
I mean, there's
Mhm.
much more, right? But go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh, we could go on and on about this.
Yeah.
Just this, right?
Yeah.
How do we have it inside us and not be searching outside? And then we're full. And then, then we're like honey with flies, then everybody wants to come play.
Yeah.
And what are the pictures? What are the paradigms and that I've learned early in life that are in the way? I mean, there's so many things to look at and to shift that are the way to opening to a relationship that is delicious.
Yeah. I've had this happen a few different times, and I've also had friends that, kind of get in a cycle of going to a reader, like, about when is their partner going to show up, or what can I do to make my partner show up? I mean, I think that second question is perhaps a little bit more productive and leaning towards a healing, but then get really disappointed, right? If what the reader says doesn't come true. Oh, they're nearby, you'll meet them next month. I mean, literally
Ugh.
people say this kind of stuff. And, if you move to this place, now I'm not saying they won't find someone if they move to that place. That could very well happen. But planting seeds like that without the help of an inner healing, the nurturing of that, I think can be damaging to people and can keep them in cycles that, the same cycle, constantly seeking out there rather
Yep,
than
out there.
inward.
Yes, I agree. It's not a healing, I don't believe, to get
No.
stuck in I mean, I think what we should do is talk more about this next time, honestly.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think we should go really into some of the paradigms of what is a useful way to be reading and assisting others, and or asking for assistance, and where do we trip about that? Because there's ways to do it to just be, that don't work and have us feel like shit.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
Yay.
then that's what we'll do. We'll continue this conversation next week in our next episode. But for now, as we do, let's just take a moment to close with a meditation. Go ahead and just settle back into your body. And just notice if this conversation lit up anything for you, excited you, made you just sort of think about a reading or the potential of being a reader. And just notice it. And just let go of anything that feels like it doesn't serve you. And we can work with that beautiful sun source energy, allowing a nice shower of it to come down over your body, coming into your body, just washing away, dissolving anything that does not serve you, allowing yourself to hold on to or put in your back pocket anything that might have piqued your interest or you want to think about or ask about later. And remember your connection to the earth. And let's go ahead and just drop into our hearts. Allow yourself to be with your beautiful heart. And know that right here, right now, all that you are as you are is more than enough. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us this week. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. And please feel free to ask any questions or drop us a note. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for playing with us. Please support Mystic Revolution by liking and sharing our show.
And sign up to get notified when new content is available. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Have a happy always.
Join us for our monthly Mystic Meditation on the first Tuesday of the month at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time.
Click on the link in the description to get more information and join the Mystic Revolution.
We look forward to seeing you then.